It is April 10th, 2020. It's late 10:20 at night. This morning, I was online and saw something disturbing. It was a news broadcast, and they were showing a video. It was drone footage of a park, and there were men digging bulldozers and a giant rectangular hole in the middle of the frame. You could drive a bus through it. It was a mass grave in New York. I think it's like Hart Island or something like that. And it really hit me. Like, the worst thing about dying in a pandemic or an epidemic is that there's nothing that people can do. Like, you can't have individual ceremonies. You can't have funerals. It's just not possible. There's too many people dying too quickly. The funeral homes they wouldn't be able to deal with it, and the bodies have to go somewhere. So they dump them all in a grave. I did see that there were caskets. I think they were plywood rectangular boxes, very economic. So it wasn't just bodies in a ditch, which does make things a little better. I don't know if the boxes were labeled so that the families could remove them later. Probably that is what's happening. I don't know for sure. But it was hard to not think that you're just a number, or your family members, the person that you love, is just a number. And I kind of had a hard time dealing with that, and it helped to think, no, you're not just a number. Because every one of those numbers, every one of those people had their own full life, just as complex and filled with emotion as my own or yours. I kind of viewed it like a slideshow of just flashing everybody's stories, like a vlog. I have to say that I am really impressed with the American leaders, because they're not hiding anything. They're not sugarcoating the fact that people are dying. They're really upfront about it, and they don't let that get them down. They're optimistic, and they're showing that, like, we can handle this. We can do this. It's sad. It's horrific. People are dying, but we must stand tall. I really respect President Trump for doing that, and I respect his whole pandemic task force. Come to think about it, like, you wouldn't want to go to a pandemic funeral anyway. I mean, historically, right? If someone died of a disease and that body is around, No. It'd be dangerous. I learned about the Smithfield meat packing plant today, and it is the fourth warmest hotspot. The fourth most amount of cases stemmed from a single location, whether it be a meat packing plant or a jail, right, or a cruise ship. So I'm going to put up a JPEG here to show this graph that I screenshotted earlier. This kind of leads me to think that this is bound to happen to the businesses that stay open. The essential businesses, the pharmacies, the grocery stores, these clerks, they're going to get sick, and they're all with each other, so they're all going to get each other sick. And if there's no one to go to work, that's disastrous. Another frightening thing that happened today is I saw a picture of cars. Several cars, look like a parking lot of hundreds and hundreds of cars stand still. And what that was is a food bank in Texas. And the organizers of the food bank don't think that they're going to be able to handle even more people. They just barely were able to do that now. The unemployment numbers are still skyrocketing, and people are turning to free food. Today marked the day that there are officially 500,000 cases in the United States. Granted, we are testing a shit ton of people. Trump is really proud of how well the Americans have been testing. I haven't done the corona test in a while, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm definitely not losing my smell. Actually, maybe it's getting a little weird. So this morning while I was watching the news, black pepper, that is really obvious black pepper. Still have the scent. So this morning while I was watching the news, I had a baby blue mug in front of me. It had coffee in it, but there was just a little bit of coffee down at the bottom. And I also had an apple. And when I was done with it, I put the core inside the mug. And while I was watching the news, I smelt something. And it really reminded me of this franchise pretzel company that we have in the Northeast called Auntie Annie's Pretzels. And it smelled just like a pretzel. I put my nose up to it. I'm like, okay, I can tell that this is an apple now, but that is really similar to a pretzel. So I showed my brother. I said, close your eyes. Don't look what's in this coffee cup. Does it smell like pretzels? He said, yeah. Yeah, it does. So I don't know if I kind of like tricked his subconscious into thinking it smelled like pretzels or if it actually did. He said it did. So I don't know if that's just some weird combination, apples and coffee smell like pretzels, or I'm just super hungry for pretzels and I can't wait for this whole thing to disappear so that I can go out to restaurants again and not have to make my own food. For whatever it's worth, I'm getting used to this whole getting to know people over texting. I'm not great at it. I'm actually not good at all. But I'm getting a little bit better in that I can have conversations through text and it be fine. So I'm getting better. I need work. Lastly, with the COVID test, 97.9. I am well. And with that, I hope you are well also. Thanks for watching this episode of Living Through COVID. I'll see you next time.